What if happiness wasn't something to get from the outside? What if it wasn't something to chase, something we need to earn, something we need to strive for? What if it wasn't outside us? What if it wasn't out there in the future? What if it wasn't contingent on us experiencing a different set of circumstances? What if everything you're doing right now to feel more worthy, to feel more deserving of all the things that you might want and need, because you think that feeling of joy or bliss or happiness that you're seeking is dependent on you having those things? It may be a house, it may be a certain person, it may be a certain amount of money. You may need your business to be a certain way. You may need your body to look a certain way. You may need different people around you. You may need to change the people around you. What if that was a simple, innocent mistake? What if the happiness that you're seeking, what if the joy, the bliss, the state of peace and well-being that you're seeking was something that's already here, available to you right now, available to you right here, wherever you are? What if it wasn't just inside you, just waiting to be noticed, but what if that is who you actually were? What if the state that you seek was your natural state? In fact, what if it was actually your nature? And your recognition of this truth was just obscured by the endless mental noise, the chatter, the nonstop activity of your thoughts. These thoughts about trying to obsessively change something about the present moment. Because unless you change something about the present moment, you can't be happy. You can't rest. So you resist. So you try to fix, sometimes yourself, because you think you're broken and you need fixing. You change your body. You try to change your mind. You try to change and rearrange and reconfigure every detail in your life based on this belief that when everything aligns like a Rubik's Cube, then you'll feel great and you'll be at peace and you'll have finally everything that you want. So you run on this treadmill to make more money, right? Because when you make enough money, at that future moment, when you make enough money, then you can finally put your mind at ease, then you can finally be peaceful. Or when your body looks a certain way, you can finally be happy about yourself. You can accept yourself. Or when you can change the people in your life so that they're a certain way, then you can finally relax. But all of this is just the theater, it's the drama of the mind that keeps you from experiencing right now all the things that you're seeking. Now, I get that this is a really challenging thought, because what I'm really saying is that everything that you seek, you have access to right now without doing a single additional thing, without expending any effort, without needing any degrees or a promotion or a bigger business or a nicer car. Because everything you do in your life is in the quest of this feeling of peace and well-being, this feeling of bliss, which is the opposite of the stressed out state that most of us find us in. But if that was really true, then you could just rest, right? You could just rest. But think about how hard and challenging that is for us to do nothing. Because if we're doing nothing physically, we're doing a lot with our minds. And there is not a moment of rest that we get because we're chasing. We're fixing, we're changing, we're resisting. Not this feeling, not this thought, not this circumstance. Not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. Nothing is good enough. No moment is good enough. There's always an anticipation for the next moment, because finally in the next moment, we can rearrange reality to give us that perfect feeling that we seek. Everything that you desire is available to you right here, right now. It's obscured by the perception, and this is not the truth, it's a perception of an inherent unsatisfactoriness of our life. What if happiness and bliss was actually who you were? And what if the only thing you needed to do was unconditionally accept every single moment exactly the way it is? Now, the cool thing is, this isn't something new for you to do. This isn't something that you need to train yourself with a new technique, with a new modality. A lot of people are just addicted to always developing themselves, fixing themselves, because we're addicted to doing, right? To doing things. And we're always trying to change every bit of us because we're never satisfied. Acceptance is not one more thing to do. It's not one more thing to put on the to-do list. It's not one more thing to shame and guilt and punish yourself for not doing. All we actually need to do is just stop resisting. When we stop resisting, we can begin allowing. We can begin to welcome whatever is arising right now. And when we welcome and include everything that exists right now in the present moment, we expand or even dissolve into a state of pure awareness, where we are just the space in which experience happens. And this experience can be thoughts, could be feelings, could be sensations in your body. And when we become, and I say become lightly because it's who we already are, it's who we've always been. We don't just become happy or become blissful or become peaceful. We notice that we are already all those things. Because the truth is, underneath this senseless suffering that most human beings drown in this world of form, in this world of objects, the joy, the bliss, the happiness that we so desperately seek is the background of all experience. It's just the space in which all these objects appear. And our sense of self is one of these objects. And our thoughts are other objects in this space, our feelings, sensations in our bodies. But rather than being identified with the space that holds all these objects, We get identified with the objects themselves. Now, this isn't how it looks to us because we live in an illusion. And there's an innocence to this. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. It's actually above, beyond even the concept of fault or even the concept of language. Because language can still only point to objects. The core of this illusion is that we are a separate self. That you are this separate self that's different from me and from others. And maybe you're white, maybe you're black, maybe you make a certain amount of money every year, you live in a certain zip code, you have a certain height. All these attributes create separation. They divide us. And this is not a political commentary or even a racial one or anything that's just an attribute of this object, which is this egoic self. This really points to the innocent mistake, the illusion that we fall into, that is at the core of all our suffering. All of our suffering originates from this illusion that we are a separate self. That we are cut off from the source of all the things we desire. That everything that we desire, everything we seek is outside of us. And that's what makes us chase. That's what creates this drive, this purpose, this need, this desire for growth. So it's not a bad thing. That's why you don't want to kill the ego. It serves very important purposes. It protects us. It, gives us a functional world to live in of sorts. But it quickly gets dysfunctional because we identify with that. And we cut ourselves off from all the things, all the states, all the experiences that we think we need. It's just a serious case of mistaken identity. But when we discover the true nature of who we really are, which is this eternal, unchanging, spacious awareness that is always present, and it naturally includes everything that appears inside it. It naturally accepts everything that appears. The anger, the sorrow, the grief, the rage, the tears, the pain. And when we identify with the space, we discover that everything that we want is already here. We don't have to create it. We don't have to achieve it. We just need to notice it. So a question for you to reflect on, to ponder. What if there was nothing missing? What if there was nothing that left you incomplete? What if you had everything you could possibly need and want to feel absolutely amazing right now? Would you allow yourself to feel that? And how long would you allow yourself to feel that? How long do you dare to feel good before your sense of unworthiness snatches that away from you, telling you that you're not worthy of it, that you need to go work 8 hours or make a certain amount of money or drive a certain kind of car? Because the truth is that the chase is endless. We've all experienced all our dreams coming true from the past. And when they appear in the present moment, it's a non-event. Because we're always looking for more. So if you're up for the challenge, take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes today and allow yourself to notice the happiness that is already present, to notice the peace that is already present, to notice the joy, the bliss, the love, the acceptance that is already present. What if you didn't have to earn it? What if you didn't have to strive for it? What if you didn't have to work for it? What if you just needed to give yourself permission to have it? I love you.